Would you please lie on your back?
Spread your feet first before you bend, because some people spread them normally. It means your shoulder wide or pelvis wide. Doesn't matter, just a small little bit. And but you are not spread. Your feet are not spread enough. No, that's too much. That's it. And now bend your knees as they are and stay like that. That's right. That's right. Now, very slowly, turn your right hand with the palm towards the ceiling. It means on the back of your hand on the floor. No. It lies along your body, doesn't it? And now turn your right hand with the palm upwards. All right? And now very slowly, try to make your hand longer. It means let it crawl on the floor. That's right, and go back. And then gently, slowly, tenth of an inch by tenth of an inch, go lower down towards your feet, towards your right foot, and come back again. And then you'll find, go on, do that many times, each time, very easily, not forcing yourself. And then you will see that no matter how much you gain by each movement, you will never get anywhere unless you move your shoulders and the head also to the right. Means reduce the friction between the floor and the shoulders and the head, and so that the head and the shoulders can go together down. That will be a very difficult thing to do. Only a few people will do it. The rest will look to the right instead of moving the head and that direction. No. You don't turn right, just your head. Well, no use saying it if you don't understand, it doesn't matter. Well, lie straight, lie with your head in the middle as before. That's right. Now take that same right hand over your head and catch the left side of the head. No, not behind, I didn't say lift. Over your head. That's right. Over your head. That's over your face, not over your head. No, over your head. No, don't start again. No, don't do anything I don't advise you to do. Don't do anything, because you see, you do it in a cockeyed way, which a normal, well-organized body wouldn't do, and therefore you spoil my fun. Now, slowly put your right hand overhead on the floor. Is that easy or not? Now, as it is on the floor there, go around the head and get hold of the left side of your face, or the parietal side, the left side of your head. And now watch your right shoulder holding the head like that. Move it a little bit to the right and come back. The right elbow, move it to the right and come back. The elbow, you can't move it without moving the head, can you? It holds the head. That's right. Therefore you have to move actually both shoulders and the head, otherwise it won't go. You can only break your neck if you do it. Move the shoulders and the head, make the friction between the shoulders and the floor smaller, and pull with your right elbow, with your right hand, Still, if you do, no, you're turning your face. Don't turn, it's not above the head. over your head. Don't turn your face. Move, slide, glide. In mechanical, do you know theoretical mechanics? It's called translate your head. Means translate it. Means move it as if there were no friction on the floor. Move your shoulders and the head to the right. Slowly, many times. Move the shoulders so that you can bend your head, otherwise you have to break it. Don't turn your face. Don't turn your face. There is look, stop a minute again, stop it. Look, if I say move your head to the right, if I wanted to tell you turn your face to the right, look to the right, obviously I would say that. I would have said it. If there is a difference between bending the head to the right or looking to the right. They're two different movements. We're doing it done with different muscles. So, again, put your hand on the top of, above your head on the floor, get hold of your left side, and now move the elbow and the head to the right and back again. But don't force, just do it gently. Do what you can without breaking, stretching, or doing any other undesirable thing to yourself. Slowly. Slowly move like that. Right and back again. Right and back again. That's right. Now it's in a normal class. If I had you for a year or so, I know you'll stay as long as it's good for you. I wouldn't show the example, but otherwise, would all the people from the outside this first row in front of me sit up? Sit up, you. Sit up. Hold on, sit up and look. Now, here there's a group of 5 people. You don't sit up. Now, here, you, go on, do what we said. Now, slowly, first, I would like you to start from the beginning. Put both hands on the floor on either side. Now, above your head, get hold of the left side of your head, without lifting the head, just holding on like that. And now, make your shoulders, reduce the friction between the shoulders and the floor, and move your head and elbow to the right, comfortably, where it's easy to do, and go back. Now look at these people, how do they find it easy to do that? It's terrible for you, you see? Did you see what you do? You did a tenth of that. How come that, are they so clever than you? So much? Look, slowly. No effort. Just what it's easy to do and come back. Reduce the frictions. Can you see? So the left hand now is pulled up and shows you by how much you would be able to go down. Because if the right hand gets longer, as we did, the left hand gets shorter. If you move yourself instead of moving the hand as if it were somebody else's hand. All right, now stop it. Would you please try? You saw it. Many of you did the same thing, but many didn't. All right, now lie down and see whether you can imitate that sort of thing, which is a bad kind of learning. Because you should be able to translate what you hear into body movement yourself. And by the time you finish with me, you will be all doing that anyway. Slowly. Reduce the frictions, put your feet standing, bend your knees, you see, if you can do it without knee bending, then you're not paying attention. That's difficult to do without the feet standing. Slowly. Slowly, gradually. And you will see suddenly that there are things when you do that, the left side of the body must get longer, the ribs on the left side must fan out, you see, and those on the right must shrivel together, be pressed together, and therefore the movement must be felt in both hip joints on the floor. It means the pelvis and the legs, you should feel that you're moving to the right and from the feet on the floor. You should feel that. Anyway, that's what an ideal human being would feel. But we are not ideal, so we have to learn to bring ourselves a little bit nearer to what we are. And we are ideal, only we don't know it. Now, if it's painful, you have overdone it. I ask you to do as little as it is comfortable. If it's painful here, you have overdone it. All right, now stop that. And now put your right hand on the floor with the back on the floor like we did before. And now move your hand in the direction of the right foot. No, your hand on your back, on the back of the hand, and make the hand longer. That means the head must go to the right and the shoulders must go to the right, unless you want to break your head. If I push it out, pull it out of your shoulder, it will go there. But if you have to do it, you have to move. If you don't move, it will never get anywhere. Now, keep on doing that slowly, moving, lifting the shoulders, lifting the head, making the movement easier, gentler, easier, simpler. Now see whether you breathe in, you breathe out, what you're doing. A chest which is held stiff can't bend to the right because it can't. Because when it's held stiff, by breathing in, the muscles work together, and therefore the rib gets stiff, open, you can't do it. Therefore you must organize your breath in some sort of way which will allow you to move to the right and breathe with the left side differently. And if you keep on doing that, you will soon realize that the tips of your fingers begin to touch the right heel, or come somewhere near to it. You didn't worry if it doesn't. It will come there whether you want it or not. Now stop it, lie on your back and rest on it. Only while you rest like that, note and observe the difference between the right side and the left side. There are some parts in the body, whether it's the shoulders or the hips or the chest or the backs of the knee or the hip joints or the heels or the calf muscles, that on one side of the body feel lying more closely, more intimately with the floor. Now, will you bend the right knee only and so that the right foot is on the floor, near the body. And now lift the hip joint on your right, the right hip joint, and turn your pelvis as if you're going to, no, not the knee. Now I took the hip joint, not the knee. The knee stays where it is. You lift the hip joint, move it to the right, and move it back to the floor. Slowly, keep on doing that. Gently. Don't overdo it. Slowly, gradually. Lift a little more each time, provided it's easy to do. Not that you have to strain and do it. Easy. Lift the pelvis, turn to your right. Ever so little. Lift the pelvis, and each time I turn the pelvis to your right. Not the knee. Not the knee. Hip joint. Not the knee. The knee stands. No, the knee stands. Move to. It must move a tiny little bit, but you don't have to put it lying in the middle. It stands. Keep on doing that. Turn more and more. Let your knee and the right foot be completely free, only that you don't put it down to the left intentionally, but otherwise keep it loose and let it do what it wants. But as you lean on your right foot, that knee will stand and the hip joint will go ahead, go on doing it. Huh? I beg your pardon?
We're lifting the hip joint and the pelvis moves toward the left.
Surely, you have no other means of doing that. It can't be done otherwise. Unless you lift both hip joints, then it can be done differently.
You said the right.
Huh? Did I say turn to the right? Well, then I betrayed my thought by saying something wrong. It means turn your pelvis to the left, lifting your right hip joint, slowly, slowly. That's right. Now, while you do that, can you feel that the back of the head is pulled down? And therefore something happens to the chin, and when you go back, it pushes it back and moves away the chin from the throat. Let it be done. Don't interfere. Now, observe when you go back, when you put the pelvis back to the floor, the head is pushed up. Now, obviously, therefore, it was pulled down before. Now, when it's pulled like that, look what happens. The chin comes near to the throat. When you push back, the chin goes away from the throat. Don't interfere. That's right. And then when you go back, look, it pushes it back, and the chin goes a little bit away from the throat. Now, move your right foot about 3 or 4 inches to the right. And this time I mean it, not to the left. Too much. Only 3 or 4 inches, not 10. That's fine. Now, bring it near to yourself as far as it will go without effort. No strain. As far as it goes, no strain. Now, move with your right hand to make it longer like before, moving the shoulders and that, and see whether your fingers touch your heel. With more, some of you it touches much more than the heel. With your back of the hand on the floor. The back of the hand on the floor. Alright? Now, while you do that, lift your right heel off the floor and push the fingers underneath the heel. And get hold of the heel. Hold it like that. Comfortably with the fingers, left fingers in the middle, just like grabbing the finger, the thumb from the outside, the fingers from the inside. You hold your heel. Right? Now, as it is like that, lift the toes and the forward part of the foot and lean on your hand as if it were part of the floor, lifting the foot and let it down again. Now lift the foot. The hand is part of the floor. Can you hear that? Leave the hand to be part of the floor. That's right. But hold on to it. That's right. That's right. Lift the foot several times. Lift it. Look, your hand is part of the floor. Means it's stuck to the floor with spit, morning spit. Stuck to the floor. Don't lift anything, but don't lift the heel. It's standing on your hand as if your hand is part of the floor. Do you want a clearer explanation than that? The hand is on the floor, doesn't do anything. You wouldn't expect it to have to do it 10 times before everybody does it. But there are some people who lift the foot with the heel, some lift it with the hand. Alright, now we have got it at long last. Now make that movement simple, easy, make it fast. It's not very difficult. You're not asked to lift more than you can. Make it, do half a dozen movements, but simply, as if you were doing that all your life. That's right. That's all right. Now straighten out. Observe the difference of sensation between right and left. Note the difference in the shoulder blades, in the face, in the hip joints, in the legs. And then again, please now bend both feet or both knees and move with your hand, lengthen your right hand to see whether you can touch the heels. Is there anybody who can't? On the back of the hand on the back. But if you take your heel more to the left still, you won't be able to get it. I asked you to have your feet open as wide as your shoulders or as your hip joints. Now, I will show you something. Nobody will be able to do that. Put your right foot over the left, to the left. Now go and make your right foot, right hand long enough to get to the heel. Could you? No, but like. Now some people have the feet together, which is equivalent to a little bit better than that. But that is difficult for anybody. If you don't open your feet, if you don't open them shoulder wide, then you're just asking yourself to do the impossible. Slowly, put your feet normally, but only feel that you have to open them. That they can't be narrow to do that easily. And now, just go and lengthen your right arm until you can get hold of the right foot, of the right heel properly. Can you? course you can, all of you can, lift the heel and hold on to it, on the floor. Lift the heel, and now the hand is on the floor, it's part of the floor, just like you did before with the lifting of the foot. Stay like that. Now only one thing, lift your right hip joint like before, gently. With many it will be very difficult to do, and move it of course to the left like before. Very slowly, don't tilt your legs, just let them move, because when the pelvis moves, the knees must move. But there is a difference between moving them intentionally or moving the pelvis so that the knees can move too. You can't move the pelvis without moving the knees. But don't tilt them to the left intentionally. Especially not the left one. The left one has no reason for being tilted at all. That's right. Slowly, gradually. Note which shoulder lifts off the floor while you do that, and which side of the chest. And observe that while the right side of the chest gets smaller and smaller, your hip joint being nearer to the armpit on the right by about a foot now compared with the left. That's right. And now note what does it do to your head when you do that. And which parts lift off the floor really. And now that you do that, will you please stop a minute? Just lift the right foot and get hold of the middle of the arch with your hand. Now, they see everybody can do that. And before they had such difficulty in reaching the heel. Below, put the middle of the arch into your hand. That's right. So that the foot stands on your hand. And put your thumb and the fingers on the other side. It must stand squarely. Hold properly. You are not doing it, others are not. Look, your hand is not properly under the foot. It's probably poetic to hold it like that. Put your hand under the foot properly. That's right. Now, can you believe that that's better holding? Feel it yourself. And you too. You please. Many. Look. Put your hand like that and put a foot in it and hold it. That's right. Alright, now lift once the heel of the floor and stand on your tiptoe, but still holding on to the foot. You hold on to the foot like before, and now put the heel on the floor and lift it, the forward part, and keep on doing that. But make it easier, simpler. That's right. Now make a simple movement out of it, if there's not much skill necessary for that. Make it simple, easy. Breathe freely, don't strain your hand, just move your foot easily, up and down, Once touching with the toes, next time with the heel, on your hand, of course. You touch on the hand. Again, your hand is not holding properly the foot. That's because your hip joint doesn't want to go to the side as it should. And there is no, again, it's hard to believe that still people hold it from the side and not from underneath. Not many, of course, but some just need that kind of insistence before they realize that they don't hold properly. I mean that they don't hold what to them would be easier to do. It's not for my sake. Now stop that, stretch out. Stretch out. Observe only the difference between right and left. Note which leg feels longer to you. Which arm feels longer? Which side lies better? By your judgment, now one more go. Would you please bend the right knee? That's right. Get hold of the middle of the foot like you did before. That's right. You can see the head. Don't look right. Take the head to the right. Don't look right. You have turned your face to the right. Take your head to the right. Take the back of your head. The back of your head to the right. More. That's it. Now it will improve. Now that's very, very nice. That beautiful. Now from this position like that, lift your right hip joint and turn to the left like before, but gently, many times, very slowly, because it begins to be rather nearly what the limit, what people can do, not quite yet. Now while you do that, move your left hand on the floor, the left arm as it is to your left, slide it on the floor, and with each movement go a little bit higher. But have it not strained. Just move it. That's it as it is. Maybe straight arm, not strained, and see, should it go with the palm upwards or with the palm downwards? See, try out one and try the other, and see, maybe there's a point where the arm should turn. That's right. Now observe when you do that, does your right hip lift higher and easier than before? Slowly. Now that's it. Now don't strain. People will always strain when it's a question they know where it should go. Don't strain. Do it easily. Breathe freely. Turn anything you like, provided you don't do intentionally put the right knee onto the left, but let it move as much as necessary. In this position like that, lift your right hip joint and turn to the left like before, but gently, many times, very slowly. because it begins to be rather nearly what the limit what people can do, not quite yet. Now while you do that, move your left hand on the floor, the left arm as it is to your left, slide it on the floor, and with each movement go a little bit higher. But have it not straight. Just move it. That's it, as it is. Maybe straight arm, not straight, and see, should it go with the palm upwards or with the palm downwards? See, try out one and try the other, and see, maybe there's a point where the arm should turn. That's right. Now observe when you do that, does your right hip lift higher and easier than before? Slowly. Now that's it. Now don't strain. People will always strain when it's a question they know where it should go. Don't strain. Do it easily. Breathe freely. Turn anything you like, provided you don't do intentionally put the right knee onto the left. But let it move as much as necessary to make the movement easy. Alright, now put that arm back, and this time see whether you could push from underneath as it is, the right thumb underneath your foot, push it in between the big toe and the second toe. Just like that. Huh? That's it. Excellent. Those, of course, who have socks will have to move the socks so that they can. Pull the socks down, the tip of the sock forward. There you have Japanese socks. That's good. I'm looking where I can buy them. I need some. No, that's not that. The thumb between, the thumb from underneath, and if you have to twist your foot so much, then your heel is not in the right place. Then you should not. Hold the middle only. It's too much for you. That's right. But those who can put, you will be able to do it in another few minutes. Because you haven't moved just as exactly like we asked. And now, as it is like that, lift your heel off the floor and put it back there. And from your hand, of course, which is part of the floor. Do it several times. And make it easy. Lift your heel. As it is easy, you're doing nothing, only the foot itself. Lift it higher, easier, simpler. See, can't it be lifted more? Who stops it? Who lifts the heel and the foot and doesn't hold the thumb, the big toe with his hand? Somebody obviously who understood everything very well. Those who do it, of course, can you believe that somebody at this point does not put the hand where we said, I can understand if you can't reach it. Then I can understand it. I don't. want anybody to overdo. It must be done with that ease. That's right. And now step down with your heel on the hand and see whether you can lift your right hip joint now. Slowly. And back again. Slowly and back again. And now you are allowed to put the right knee as low as you want. See how you go. Don't press it down. Don't break your knee. We will get there otherwise. No. Slowly. It must come in between the legs, not anywhere else. Slowly. Now you want to see something as you have your hand. Move your hand with the foot a little bit to the right. Make it light so that it can slide. And then bend your knee inwards. That's right. And bring it back to underneath the foot. And keep on doing that gently. Reduce the friction between the hand and lower your right knee. And gently reduce the friction. Take your foot and hand to the right and lower your knee. And then bring the hand and the foot back and lift the knee. That's right. Very slowly. Many times. Gently. Move away with your hand. Reduce the friction as far as you need. And go slowly, gently. Move your right knee inwards, moving away the hand and the foot from the point where it is. Moving the hand and the foot to the right. No, not in one big jerk. In one big jerk, it's good to ruin your knee and ruin your hip. Gently, slowly, gradually. Stop it, stretch out. Only those three of you, you three, please. Would you please try to do it again? The three. All the others sit up and never look. Look at it. Look at it. Who told you to make such tricks? Look at it. Is that feasible? In which circus were you before? Look at it. Now, there are some more people who can do that, but not three together. Yeah, would you please show us how you do it? You did it, not Natalie, you either. Come on, let's see all that slowly, but not to show off, just what you can do easily. You see, they are not struggling. They're not doing something impossible. You can do it too. Try. Not slowly. Slowly. Don't show off, just show what you can do. That's good enough. Now you're everybody here. You're just try. There were some other people who did it very nicely, who before, look there. That's a woman in look, those brick houses. And the next. And this one, look at this one. And look this one. Look. Slowly, you will find that everybody can do that. And in fact, not only can do that, it is the minimum that a healthy body should be able to do. The body who can't do it should be here and learn to restore himself to health. Slowly. Don't rush. Now, Look how many people do it in half an hour. That shows you that's a natural movement. You couldn't extend ligaments to so many people and their faces not being distorted. Look, that's not bad for a beginner. Now slowly, now would you please just put your foot on the floor? Stretch out slowly. Observe the difference between right and left. And now bend both knees and see why couldn't had we to work so long before the right hand could touch the heel. Go and touch it now and see. Do you have to twist yourself so much to do it? Touch the heel with your hand. Is there anybody who can't do it? Maybe somebody who still holds the feet together and still hasn't done most of the things we did, because every time she was a little bit behind in comprehending what we do. But can you now see how ridiculous it is that you couldn't touch? So in fact, it's the other side now. Don't do anything. Don't spoil the fun. Would you please roll on one side and get up onto your feet and walk and see what it feels like different on the right side and the left. Walk and look at each other's faces and shoulders. And look whether you can tell by the face which side is better, the right side or the left side. Look at each other's shoulders and from behind and tell which shoulder is better organized. Which side of the shoulder and the neck looks more human or nicer for that person. For that person, the person you look at one shoulder and the other and look. One shoulder, how is that shoulder, how is the other one? Look at the shape between the head and the shoulder. And yourself, think which side feels the kind of side which, I'm like that and that's it. And the other one feels from where did it come? Surely. It's an offer for Now, would you please now lift your right hand, right arm to the ceiling and see what it feels like. Now, go on, walk while you do that. Lower it. And now lift the other one and feel the difference. Now lower the arm. All around yourself as you stand. Walk around yourself, any side you want. And which is the side you want? You'll find that the majority will turn in one way. Now, change over and turn to the other side and see the difference. Which side do you turn better? When you go around yourself to the right or when you go around yourself to the left? It should be to the right, but you never know. There's always somebody, for instance, penicillin is something good for almost everybody. There's 1 in a million who dies of an injection of penicillin, even more frequent than that. So you never know. Now, would you please lie on your back? Lie on your back. Bend your knees, open, of course, as before. Bend your knees. Bend your knees. And now put your left hand on the back of the hand near you, on the floor near you. It was straight arms left. We didn't say put overhead. Only turn your hand where it was with the palm upwards. And now think that you're going to do what we did before to the right. Your arm downward, the left arm was down there, should stay there, with the palm upwards, and you think that you're going to lighten your shoulders on the floor, and let the head, the back of the head, move with the shoulders, that the right side of the chest will become long now, and the left short, and that you're going to twist your body to the left like you did before to the right until your hand, your left hand, glides with you can shift your fingers underneath the left heel. Don't do a thing. Just think it through. But, of course, think it through with your body as if you were doing it. So that you could feel that you itch to try. Now think it through 3 times. That you move your head and shoulders to the left, reducing the friction, until your left hand comes onto the left heel. And again, think it again. Now think it to the right and see the difference. Think it to the right and see how differently you think it to the right. And now think it again to the left. Now don't do a thing. Just think that you're lifting your left hip joint and stretching out the right leg. Don't do a thing. You're stretching out the right leg and then you tilt your pelvis, and this time to the right. I was wrong before, but this time it is to the right. You move with your left hip joint, rotate the pelvis, moving it, the left hip joint to your right. Means you turn to your right, but you don't do a thing. Now stretch your right leg really. Stretch the right leg. And now think that your foot stands in your hand. The heel stands in your hand. You're holding the heel. You move your body to the left and you organize your body so that your heel stands in your hand without doing a thing. But organize your mind and your thinking so that you itch to do it. That you can feel that you organize your body to do it. That's the thinking, bodily. And you think it only 3 times again. Second time. And third time. Now your heel stands in your hand. Don't do a thing. Your heel stands in your hand. And the left hand is becoming part of the floor. And then you lift the forward part of the foot. Means you flex your foot, your left foot, easily 3 times. In fact, now you can do it as fast as you can think. And then you will see that thinking is very slow. Think it fast. And now, just for the sake of argument, move. Actually, get hold of the heel with your left hand. Get hold of it. Can you see you get there straight away? Do it. Left. Now. And now, mentally again, doing nothing. Lift your hip. Don't do a thing. You move your hip, you turn to the right with the hip, lifting the left hip so that the pelvis rotates to the right. And while you do that, you note that the left side shrinks and the left shoulder is pulled down, and while the hip lifts, all the chest must shrink and all the ribs push together and lift off the floor because there's no room for them. And therefore the right side gets longer, and now the right arm goes over, is gliding on the floor until it's overhead, and you know already that it has to turn somewhere. So you glide your right arm on the floor. Don't do it, but itch to do it. That's the thinking. And now you lift your left hip joint again, thinking only. And now you lift your foot and lower it. And have you done three thoughts like that? I believe so. And now, would you please just see whether you can get the middle of the foot into your hand. Can you get the middle of the foot of your hand? Alright. And now, the middle of the foot in your hand. Really, do it. Get the middle of the foot in your hand, not the heel. Really. That's right. Only the middle of the foot, and hold it like that. And now, think again that you're lifting your the left hip joint 3 times. And second time, and third time, and then the foot. You lift once, you flex the foot and lift the toes off the floor and next the heel, doing nothing, just think it through. But you do it 3 times fast. Alright? Now, actually see whether you can put your thumb between the big toe and the next from underneath. Like that. Now, stay there like that. And just mentally lift your left hip joint 3 times. You know, of course, you believe what your head and shoulders, what they will do. You know what they did it on the right side. So you should not interfere. Allow the body to do it, to follow in your thoughts your previous experience. That means you know what to think and how to think. And then thinking is more efficient than doing any work. It does it better than any work, better than any gymnastics, provided you make sure that the person actually thinks and not in words, but actually thinks with his body, with his mind, with his motor cortex, with his what he can, kinesthetic sense, put it as you wish. Alright? Now, mentally, again, Move the right foot away out of the way, make the left side light so that you can slide the foot and the hand to the left so that the left knee can sink to the floor in between your legs. Now, don't do it. Just organize your brain so that you can think it, imagine it, see it with your mind's eye. And think it through 3 times. And while you're at it, think, why couldn't you lift your left hip joint now and turn to the right mentally? And have you done it more than once? Then the 3rd time. Think it the 3rd time. Now you know by how much you have to move your right leg. You know how you have to organize your body, left shoulder, and the rest of the body so that the left leg can sink in between to the floor. You had that experience before on the right side. Think it through. And now for once, see whether you can do it. When you got this straight, try to do it. See whether it works. And you will find that many who couldn't do before will do it better now. Now, let's see. Let's see how many. Look, I have a row now of 5 instead of 3 in front of me. And another row of many behind. Just slowly. That's it. Slowly. Now stop it. Put that foot on the floor. And, believe it or not, stretch out. You should have stopped long ago, but doesn't matter. Stretch out. And just for your own sake, bend the right knee, get hold of the thumb and see which side is easier. The one that you have trained, and now underneath your foot, get hold and see. Do it with the right side. That's right. And now do it again with the left side. And see which is easier. Which is lighter. With many will be the left side, though the left side will need seconds, 3 thoughts. Alright? Make sure which side is better. There is something in the side that hasn't worked, because the side that hasn't worked, nothing is tired, and therefore it feels different. But we get there anywhere, so why work? Get the same result or better in a tenth of the time. Only provided we know how to think. Now slowly, would you please stand up? And walk around and see what it feels like. You will see that there's something for working too. But the other side has done it much better and faster. In fact, less than a 20th of the time. Now, and that's good enough for me. I suppose it's good enough for you. Thank you.